I am sensing a little bit of fear coming through you at this time. I feel like really called to talk to you about this specific topic of fear because I'm sensing that a lot of us are feeling like I'm afraid to keep on living. And it's not like in the way of that you're feeling harmful or hurtful towards yourself, but that the future is scary. You're probably in a very uncertain situation and you really don't even know what you could be doing in the next week or the next 2 weeks. People want to make appointments with you, but you're like, I don't even know if I'm going to be here next week. I don't even know if I'm going to still be doing this next week. So I'm really sensing the fear of the future, the worst possible case, the worst possible scenario. And I actually want to encourage you to adopt a new thought. I want to encourage you to open your mind to the idea of saying, I'm not afraid to keep on living. My Chemical Romance quote. I love My Chemical Romance. I've loved them since I was like 12. And this lyric really spoke to me. I am not afraid to keep on living. I'm not afraid to walk this world alone. And adopting that mindset, because so many times I think that fear really, it controls us. It really controls us. And my dad told me this as, I think when I was younger, I don't know what age I was, but he would always tell me, don't let fear run your life. Don't let fear make decisions for you. Don't make decisions out of fear. And he said that because he let a lot of fear run his life, and he made a lot of decisions that he essentially wished that he didn't make, because he wouldn't have had to go through these really traumatic experiences in order to learn from those things. And I think that idea of fear is something I finally really understand. As someone who experienced anxiety disorder, a lot of anxiety, like, what is it called? Like the high functioning anxiety? Like nobody would be able to tell that I'm really stressed out because I seem really chill on the outside. And I'm sure you're one of those people as well that presses their feelings into a diamond, and I think that's not a good thing. If you're afraid, you have to feel it. You have to let yourself feel it first. Sit with the feeling, because I think a lot of us who are manifesting things, we think I am afraid of feeling afraid because that is going to ruin my manifestation and ruin my track and my path. But that is the never-ending cycle and the never-ending loop. And excuse me, my voice is still coming back. I was sick last week. But I encountered a lot of fear. And it disrupts you. It absolutely disrupts you. You should not let it interrupt your goals, interrupt what you're doing. Because if you know that feeling when you're working on something, you're going for your dream, going towards something, and you're finally like, wow, something's working. I'm actually doing it. I'm really doing it. But all of a sudden the reality hits, the reminder, oh, I'm still broke. Oh, I still don't have enough money to pay my rent yet. Oh, it hits you. You're like, oh my God, how am I supposed to not think from fear when I essentially am living in my worst nightmare? Well, you have to acknowledge it. Is this your worst nightmare? Is this the worst possible thing? Do you feel like you're going through something horrible? It's okay to say, yeah, I am, and I hate it. I hate the way I feel right now. One of the most powerful things you can do is acknowledge it and say, I don't want to live like this, though, ever again. And declare it. The power of the declaration, the power of the spoken word. When you declare it to yourself, you could be in the shower and you're like, I hate this. This freaking sucks. I hate it. I don't like the way I'm living right now. I don't like being afraid of paying my bills. I don't like this feeling. And decide today that you do not have to live this way at all anymore. Using that powerful emotion of saying, I hate this and I don't want to be like this anymore, and taking control because you're the only one who can change it, and then deciding to take intentional action from that feeling of frustration, that is exactly how you are going to alchemize your emotions. any type of emotion, even heavy emotions, frustration, hate, shame, fear, but you have to get rid of it. Be shameless. Be absolutely shameless. I don't mean do things that are bad to other people, but for your own sake, to start by facing your feeling and saying, I'm afraid, I'm ashamed that I didn't start earlier. I'm ashamed that I can't pay my rent and I can't support my family. I'm ashamed. I acknowledge it. But you have to face those skeletons in your closet in order to make space for more. To face the fear and make it so normal to you that you're like, okay, I know what I'm afraid of or what I was afraid of. I know what I was ashamed of, and I face it, and that's what happened. That's my past, though. That's my past, and it happened. Okay, and become so comfortable with facing the skeletons in your closet that, in theory, if you were to blow up on the internet one day, for whatever reason, this is just a theoretical, but imagine that somebody would pull up a tweet or somebody would pull up an experience that they heard about you from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you wouldn't even be like, oh my god, what's gonna happen to me? No, you would be like, yeah, I did that. I said that. I did that. That was me from then. And I acknowledge that I said that. I don't agree with what I said anymore, but yeah, I said it, and I own it. Next. If you adopt that mindset, that is the act of being shameless. That is the act, being able to acknowledge, to take accountability, accept it, and move on. And treating that the same way with your fear. To sit with your fear and be like, yeah, I absolutely feel afraid of tomorrow because I might get evicted, but it's fine. I feel afraid. I'm going to sit with it for 30 seconds in my heart space. I'm going to feel as all of the emotions. I'm going to cry about it. I'm going to really feel how terrifying that freaking is. Oh my god. And feel it, and then let it go. Let it go. I think one of the best things that you have to change in your mindset is taking it from my past is me. My past is my story, and shifting it to say, you know what? My past is something I experienced, but it's not my story. My story is me, who I really am before all those experiences, who I was as my childhood self, my inner child. That's me. That's my story. It's not the version of me who went through all those things and said those things and did those things and had things done to them. Those were experiences that I lived through. But once you detach the experiences from your own being and come back to yourself and say, I experienced those things, that's not a part of who I am, though. I know a lot of people like to say my story makes me who I am, blah, blah, blah. No, you make who you are, because a lot of people who go through the exact same experiences as you did don't come out the same way as you are at this moment. A lot of people have gone through wicked, horrible experiences, maybe the same things you've been through, and they are total assholes right now. Victim mindset, not able to take accountability for anything, and they live that way for their whole entire life. They bring that and make their children suffer. They make their grandchildren suffer from this mindset. But you're different. That's what I mean, because the experiences don't shape the person. You shape you. How you react to what you've been through shapes you. So no, you are not your story. You're actually your experiences that you learned from, the things you learned from those things. That's you. How you reacted to those things, that's you. And you can change how you react to those things at any moment. If you didn't react to them very well or responsibly then you can choose now to say, I'm going to react differently. That's why you are not your story. Do not let yourself be labeled or defined by those things. That's why they say be open to the universe. Be open to seeing yourself in a different way. Have you ever thought about that, though? Releasing that feeling, detaching from that feeling, is one of the most incredibly powerful things that you can do. You're listening right now. Take that fear, feel it, and release the shame attached to it, and understand that's not you. That's what's so freeing. No matter what you go through, no matter what you hurt people or people hurt you, those are experiences that happen. What you learn from those things, what you decide to do about it, is what makes the biggest difference. So instead of sulking and feeling, oh my god, I'm so freaking scared, I don't know what to do, just start here. And once you feel that feeling of release, of the feeling of I need to start over, I need to reset, take that feeling and take an intentional action. Something that you can do. It doesn't even matter how small it is, as long as it's fueled by the intention of doing something different. For example, if you're in a really bad financial situation, from feeling the shame of not being able to cover your bills, feeling the shame and letting it go, the feeling of not being able to support your family, and then all of a sudden saying, okay, I let go of that shame, and I'm going to take that frustration, and I'm going to turn it into one intentional action, and I'm going to think about that action. I'm going to think about that intention when I'm taking that action. That is how you manifest. That is how you make all your dreams come true. The idea, the belief, the visual in your mind plus the intentional action is manifestation in work. That's why if you're like, oh, I manifested by visualizing but nothing's working for me, are you taking the intentional action? It could be one thing. I made a separate Google account for a business that I want that doesn't even exist yet. But I made a separate Google account for it with the idea of thinking, oh, in the future, this email inbox is going to be full and booming. I'm going to need this login in the future. I'm going to put it in my notebook. I'm going to make it look special and important. That's all you have to do to start. You don't have the money. You don't have anything to start the business. It doesn't matter. You can already start making promotional posters for businesses that you want to create if they don't exist yet. Intentional action. The rest will work itself out. It is absolutely not your job to figure out the how, but you have to test it. You have to, if you don't know exactly how to do it, you have to test it. I'm going to try this today. I'm going to try this tomorrow. And then the next week, I'm going to try this differently. I learned, and so you can't take these things personally. You just got to keep trying. Because most people who are successful in business, they aren't the most talented, they aren't the smartest, they aren't the most beautiful or aesthetic sometimes. They're actually just the ones that kept going and never gave up. It's inevitable that you're going to be successful. I am not afraid to keep on living. I'm not afraid to walk this world alone. To repeat that on a daily basis, to get in the mindset of, hey, I'm not afraid to keep on living. I don't care what happens. I feel free. To sit there and sit with the feeling of what does freedom feel like to you? Sit there and think, well, freedom feels like I could buy what I want, I could go where I want to go somewhere today, I'm going to do it. I'm going to bless somebody today, I'm going to buy something for my partner that he's wanted for a long time, I'm going to do it, and I can do it. And you tap into that feeling, especially if you're the person that feels more in tune to your emotions, you have a big heart, you feel like emotional, you cry a lot, whatever. That is your key. To feel safe, number one. So you got to get rid of the fear, because you cannot manifest from a feeling of fear. You cannot manifest from survival mode. And I'm telling you this as proof with my own life. I did not make any sales during the days that I was panicking about my sales. I did not make any sales on the days that I was worrying about paying how to pay my rent. The only time that I started getting sales was when I went to sleep and I actually gave myself the opportunity to rest. And then when I actually just sat and I reacted to crisis by not doing anything. Instead of panicking and, what do I do? And I sat there and I was like, it's not a problem if you don't make it a problem. Stop making things your problem. You assume that something's not working out, that it's a problem. It's not a problem. Redefining it so that you can sit with it and feel like, actually, I don't have any problems. I only have solutions, though. I have new ideas. I have new things to try. There's no problems. Don't focus on the problem. Don't say I have an issue. Focus on the solution. Be like, I want to try something new today. If you react to crisis in the absolute opposite way that most people would expect you to, watch how the results shift for you. Because you're sending a message out to the universe. You're sending it out saying, yeah, actually, I'm in a place that's safe enough to hold abundance. I'm in a place that's safe enough to hold the things that I want. Because if you got them when you were in survival mode, you might end up paying a lot more. You might end up, instead of just holding the money and sit with it for a moment, plan how to use it wisely. You might end up spending it all at once out of fear. doing a practice, like I hold one of my money chains, and what I do is I get into like a feeling where I'm extremely happy. I'm just like, I feel good, I feel like satisfied. I hold it, and then I throw it on the bed. And then I pick it up again, and then I throw it away. The idea of it's okay to spend money. It's okay. It's okay to not be afraid of money. Let it go. Let it come back. Let it go. Let it come back. That idea is actually a fantastic way to physically feel more in touch with the idea of things come and go. Your rut and sadness will come and go. Understanding that first is something fantastic. Letting go of the fear. There's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing, absolutely nothing. We all face fear in our life, but how you react to it is one of the most important things. Not making decisions out of fear, and also tuning into the feeling of, it's gonna be okay, it's always been okay. Not just that, but stop thinking of the worst possible scenario. Start encouraging yourself to think of the best case scenario. What's the best possible thing that could happen to you? If that's too difficult to think of, maybe you could think of what would be a really great thing that could happen to me today. I could get like 10 sales. I mean, that would be great. How would you feel? I mean, either I would feel pretty satisfied, or I knew I could do it, or I'd feel like I'm crying. I feel so happy. I feel so grateful. Tune into your heart space. Love is the most powerful emotion. I know that we can argue that hate is one of the most powerful emotions. I think it's love. I think it's love because love is irrational. Love is really irrational. That's why you hear like crazy stories of your parents having like a huge age gap. Or that I've also seen parents that were disowned by their families because they dated outside of their race. But love still persists, doesn't it? Why not for you? Why not for you? Understanding that if this is all a game, which it is, the life you experience is by your design. It's a game. You're a player in the game, and when you start shifting from thinking of life as someone that you're not in control of it at all, you are in control of it. You are the one who creates your own destiny. And you know how I know that? Because we as humans have the power to take intentional action, which is something that other species cannot do. Excuse me. But understanding that, we are the only species that can literally manifest and take action on this planet. That's how I know. And so when you come from that knowing, this is all a game, and start seeing yourself almost in third person, like this is the human version of myself. I'm going to act from the version of myself where I'm looking at my life and I'm like, if I were that human, which is me, what would I be doing differently? How would I be thinking differently? What would I want my little player in this game to be doing? Just like a simulation. Treating it like that and having a really objective viewpoint, whether you believe in this or not, is one of the ways that you can get the most clarity about what to do next. But you have to let go of the fear. There's nothing to be afraid of. At the root of fear is usually a really powerful emotion. Give yourself the opportunity to explore it. I know you can do it. At any moment you can snap. Reset. This doesn't align with me. Not in my world. Reset. Watch how powerful that is. Even a snap of the fingers. Hear the silence after you snap. I'm not afraid to keep on living. I'm not afraid to walk this world alone. Period. I'm courageous, I am brave, and I believe in myself. When you believe and trust in yourself so undeniably, you won't feel afraid. Because you won't feel afraid because you'll say, I got me. I got me. Nobody else has got me, but I got me. Period. That's it. I got me. I know I can do this. That's where you have to start. I believe in you. And if you want guidance about how to reset, what exactly you should be journaling, shadow prompts, where you should start, I created a whole book, which is a digital download guide. Link is in the description below. It's called The Adult Reset. I wrote it from my experience, from what I went through in 2024, and how I was able to pick myself back up again and found 3 businesses after moving from the United States to Germany to Korea and showing you how I started my own career after not knowing what I wanted to do. So thank you for 35 subscribers, each and every one of you. Love you. And don't forget to like this video, comment down below, and check the pinned comment. Bye.